Michigan State University, one of the most beautiful and agriculturally significant campuses in the United States. Known for having probably one of the coolest college mascots, Sparty, one of the best basketball programs in the nation with Tom Izzo, a meth lab in Wells Hall, and an incredible community of like-minded individuals. But one of these things is not like the other, as you can tell. Hello everyone, my name is KB3Moto, and today I am going to be talking to you about the current MSU ongoing investigation that has taken the local news of Lansing by storm. That's right, I'm not kidding. A literal meth lab, allegedly, is MSU's most recent edition of campus-wide controversy, at arguably the worst time for the student body, being finals week. I am now a fresh alumni of Michigan State myself through MSU's undergraduate program, and so I still live very close to the area, so you can imagine my surprise when I was finding out that on just some random Monday during finals week, an unknown chemical substance was discovered in an academic hall. According to initial local reports in an email correspondence that everyone in the community received on Monday afternoon, Wells Hall was actually evacuated due to the presence of some unknown chemicals that were located within the building, which is a completely crazy and random statement to make on a Monday at 10 a.m. But the confusion would not be alleviated immediately, as the next day MSU sent out further correspondence revolving around the situation and permanently shut down Wells Hall for the remainder of this finals week through May 1st, meaning that many students that originally had class scheduled inside Wells Hall were being quickly ushered to different locations to take their final exams, only just added on to additional stress and anxiety around an already tumultuous time for many students. But if you thought that was just the end of the story, just you wait, dear listener, because we're not even halfway through. On Wednesday, April 29th, the Chief of Police, Mike Yanowski, relayed an important message detailing in more specifics the exact events that led to the apprehension of a suspect in this chemical substance leak. He noted that many people in the community were concerned, rightfully so, about the situation with Wells Hall, given the timing it was towards the end of the semester, as well as the dangerous nature of the reporting that was actually surrounding the events. Extremely difficult to know what was actually true, what was actually happening, versus just speculation about what was going on. The report listed the following events, summarized from the original email detail that was received on Wednesday. DPPS, which is MSU's police department, initially responded to reports of property damage and trespassing within Wells Hall directly caused by criminal activity. Basically, they said there was a suspicious persons report about someone was outside of Wells Hall and trying to get in. And so they were talking to this individual, and that in his possession, he had bags of chemicals. Basically, he was trying to bring into the building. Given the nature of the investigation at the time of the email when it was released, little was actually known about what kind of damage was done to Wells Hall. But later reporting by news organizations like AP News followed up on this information by mentioning that chemical substances caused approximately, and this is a direct quote, $20,000 or more of damage, including multiple doors and flooring, end quote. So, as you can tell, pretty severe damage was actually being done to the physical location of Wells Hall in the last few days from these chemicals. A suspect was apprehended in connection with the damage to the building and was identified to be possessing multiple household substances that have been known to be used in the production of meth together, methamphetamine, including sodium hydroxide pellets, hydrochloric acid, methanol, isopropyl alcohol, acetone, and butane. All of which are common household substances that someone might have, but in combination together, they have been known to be used for the production of meth. The Office of Environmental Health and Safety on campus did perform multiple tests to determine that the environment around Wells Hall is safe for the community and didn't pose any significant risk to anybody or their health. A little bit more about the suspect, Xing Tong. He was a 31-year-old former MSU student. Given he had an expired student identification card on his person, and currently has not been affiliated with the school in the past 4 years, as he was the last time he was actually enrolled at MSU was back in 2022, but hasn't officially been connected with the university since that time. He was found on Sunday, April 26th, with bags full of substances, as previously mentioned, and it seems as though he had been accessing Wells Hall for weeks before the actual incident occurred that resulted in his arrest. He has currently been arraigned on felony charges related to operating and maintaining a meth lab and destruction of property, which are pretty intense charges. We haven't had any criminal investigations in a long time, at least nothing to like drug related incidences or this scale at all. Tong is being held currently at the Ingham County Jail on a $500,000 cash bond, and he could face up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $25,000 if he's convicted on these meth lab charges, not to mention an additional 10 years and $15,000 if he's convicted on the property destruction charges, which, given those charges as well, if they don't want to allocate it based off of just $15,000, they can also do triple the amount of what the damage actually was on campus. So they might be actually having him pay a fine of $60,000 in addition to the $25,000 for convicted meth lab charges. This is just an absolutely crazy situation, but thankfully no one was hurt or hospitalized in the process of handling this entire thing, and it was stopped before any further damage to property could continue. This is probably the absolute last thing anyone was expecting to have happen to end out the spring 2026 semester here, with a meth lab being in the backyard of all these dorm rooms. But thankfully, like I said, no one got hurt, and graduation is not canceled or delayed or anything. So myself and probably about a couple thousand other students are going to be able to graduate on time over this weekend, and so that's pretty great. Well, that was about all I had on the situation. I know it's a little bit of a switch up from what my usual content is, but it is something that is very near and dear to my heart and involves my local community. And Wells Hall has actually been the location of a lot of my classes over the years as well, and it has been featured in some of my other writing videos, so I felt like it was a topical thing to discuss, especially being right on the front lines of all the information being released as well. Very thankful for DPPS to have handled this so quickly and their quick action on this whole situation. It's super dangerous to allow these incidences to go on unaddressed and not really, solve the problem and everything. And so they've been very quick and very diligent on making sure that the whole entire situation is wrapped up smoothly. So very thankful for them and all the work that they did on this. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you haven't decided to join the KB3 Moto community by hitting that subscribe button, please consider doing so, as it greatly helps out the channel to grow, and I appreciate everyone who has contributed to expanding this community so far. If you have any thoughts about this crazy MSU situation, please feel free to leave them in the comments below or over on my Instagram page under the exact same handle, KB3 Moto. I really appreciate all you guys for watching. I look forward to catching you guys in the next one, and be safe out there. Peace.